Here you go. Well, I feel like I need to have a moment of silence for my mentor, Monty Hall, who passed away 2 days ago. That's true, and Brillo, you still owe me for that second BMW, by the way. It is certainly a pleasure. I want to thank the Oklahoma Golf Hall of Fame Committee and all of its the people who are involved with this for this award. I cherish it very much. The state of Oklahoma has a great golf legacy, and I'm now glad to be part of that legacy. I'm very thankful for a lot of things that have happened to me in my career, and I've had to live with those Monty Hall stories for now the better part of 30 years, but it's okay. I did see some furniture dealers here tonight, some car dealers. So if I can help you with anything, be sure and see me afterwards. I'm very thankful for my parents, Fred and Marjorie Tewell, who I know my mother started teaching schools so that I would, they'd have extra money to send me around the country playing golf. I was chasing Mark Hayes, and he kept going to all these big tournaments, and I just kept trying to catch up to him, and it took me a long time. It took me almost to age 50, but he was a great source for my becoming a better player each and every year. I want to thank Henry Iba for keeping me from going to the University of Arkansas to play golf. He gave me a basketball scholarship so that I would not leave Stillwater. And I did go to practice the first day, and I was told to leave. I did, however, keep the Converse tennis shoes that were issued to me. So thank you, Coach Iba. I want to thank in Edmond Art Proctor, who gave me my first golf club job. He taught me the finer points of working behind the counter, and also had me guard the clubhouse one night to try and catch a burglar. It was at that point I knew I had to play better. So, Art, I never wanted to be a security guard, so, but thank you. And I want to thank, I saw him tonight, Roger Maxwell, who took me to Camelback Country Club. And I remember Roger said, we've got a spot in the 74 Phoenix Open that you can have and play in. And he said, we'll see you Saturday morning to work. And I remember I said, Saturday morning, tournament's not over till Sunday night. And he says, well, we don't think you'll be there. So Roger, I did it, didn't I? I shot 71-69, made the cut, didn't show up for work till Monday. So, but Mark Hayes was staying with me that year at my house, and he was already in the tournament. And after I made the cut and won a walloping $75, he said, why aren't you out here? I said, well, $75 is not going to go very far, is it? But I did kind of start thinking about it, and as soon as I got my Class A rating, I knew I could go out and start qualifying, so we got some money together, and I headed out to the tour in 1975, and when they told me that when Tiger Woods came out and they said he wouldn't have to go to a Q school, and I kind of held my hand up and I said, well, I've never been to one either. What are you guys looking at, you know? A little different, so. But certainly was a great time in my life. I stayed 20 years. And had a lot of fun. I got to play with a lot of great players and be around them, and with the great Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer, and just a wonderful time. I want to thank Gray Madison for hiring me as a head golf professional at Pinetop Country Club. And Gray's daughter is actually here tonight, Cindy McCarron. And we worked some at Camelback together, so it was great having her here and seeing her tonight. I also want to thank my kids, Jay, Christine, for piling in that station wagon and driving week to week. One of the reporters walked up to my daughter and said, where do you live? And she says, in a hotel. So we had a lot of fun. I've got my grandkids here tonight, all 5 of them. Did you see that flat belly in a couple of those pictures there? Didn't that look a little better? Yeah. Y'all never knew I had that, you know. Those were 34-inch pants. I'm still a 34. I'm just more comfortable in 40s nowadays. So, but I want to thank Joe Walser and Ernie Vossler for absolutely providing me the best facilities around this country that we could have and to work at and to practice and become better and better players. And it's been a privilege to be part of the Oak Tree Gang, and for that I'm forever indebted to them. My father-in-law, he wasn't real sure about my career path. He kept, every time we came home, he would ask my wife, Pam, when's he going to get a real job? And she kept convincing him that, Daddy, he has a real job, and we're making a little bit of money. But after I won my first tournament, he got really behind me and kept saying, you're not coming home, are you? You got another week to play. And I would be remiss if I didn't recognize Dr. Carlin Yates, who kept me put together for all these years with surgeries and injections in my knees. And also to all of you who, I hope, read the paper from top to bottom and never from bottom to top to see what I had shot in a certain week. But I had a lot of fun on tour. There were times when it was tough in the early years, and I was at the Buick Open, and Pam calls me on Sunday morning, and she says, I don't want to cause you any stress today, but we've got a $600 house payment due Monday, and we have $300 in the bank. Well, I got lucky and shot 65 that day and won $7,800, so we were able to make a few more house payments in those days. Probably one of my more low times was at the Quad Cities tournament when I drove a ball in a pine tree. And I took out a 5-iron and I tried to baseball swing it. And the ball went about 6 feet in front of me. Well, I recoiled back through the tree, and then I took another hard swing through that pine tree, and it started up here, and then it went to here, and then it went to here. Now, I got through with the round, and the tour official came up to me, and he says, I need to talk to you. I said, yes. He said, well, I need to talk to you about an issue with a pine tree out there. And I said, yes. And he said, well, did you destroy the tree? I said, oh, no. I had to hit the ball the first time. And I said, I studied, I had a forestry class at Oklahoma State, and I noticed that tree was not going to grow back properly, so I pruned it. So those are some of the things you don't hear about us. That one only cost me $250, but that was the only time I'd ever been fined on the tour. But one of my memorable moments was in the press room at the PGA Championship. Joe Walser was standing in the back of the press room, and I had shot the low score of the first round. I'd broken Arnold Palmer's 25-year-old record. And I walked into the press room. My daddy told me never argue with people who buy ink by the barrel. But I got in there, and the first question, the guy says, well, Doug Tewell, you are a relatively unknown player who just broke Arnold Palmer's record here at Cherry Hills. What do you have to say about that? And I said, well, it's my record now. It's not his. And I said, as far as being unknown, I said, you guys are the top sports writers from all over the country, all over the world. I said, what's your name? And he told me, and I sat there for a minute, and I went, never heard of you. So, anyway, the time on tour, the camaraderie I have with my Oak Tree buddies have just been phenomenal, and I can't thank you all enough for this recognition. But I had one story, because I couldn't have done any of this without my family behind me. My son, my daughter, my grandkids, but especially my wife, Pam, who we are in our 48th year of marriage. Thank you, dear. One person in this room got to see a front row seat to my win at the LA Open. That's Willie Wood. And he was there the last two rounds. And it was our 17th winning anniversary, and I had Pam stay home. I said, we need to save some money, and I'll just go by myself. And lo and behold, on Friday, there stood Pam. And I said, you weren't supposed to come. And she says, well, I haven't missed one in 16 years, and I wasn't going to miss the 17th. So she asked me on Saturday, well, what are you going to do for our anniversary today? And I said, oh, it's our 17th. I'll just birdie 17 holes. Kind of laughed it off. Right, Willie? So I teed off, and I birdied the first hole, and I birdied the second hole, birdied the third hole, birdied the fourth hole, birdied the fifth hole, birdied the sixth hole. Kind of looked over at Pam, and I went, hey, I made some kind of new record here. But that ended that day, and I shot 66. And then to make the story short, she had told me Sunday morning, she says, I pledged $10,000 to our church. And I said, we don't have $10,000 to give to the church right now. And she says, honey, it's just a pledge, I know our means will be met. And so I said, well, okay, I got to go out and try and win a golf tournament. I had a one-shot lead. I think it was over, Willie might have been a couple back, but I went out and shot 8 under par 63 that day and won by 7 shots. And Pam came running up to me, she came running up to me, and I hugged her, and I said, I guess we can write that check now. So, but that, those are the things that we remember as a husband and wife, the times when our needs are met, and they have been so much in this state of Oklahoma. I'm telling you, this is just the greatest place to be from. I could have lived anywhere, any of us could, but we chose Oklahoma and Oak Tree Golf Club, and it's just a decision I've never regretted. I've enjoyed it throughout my entire life, and raising my family in Oklahoma has been an honor and a privilege. God has blessed us beyond, and I'm eternally grateful. So thanks to you for being part of that blessing. Thank you.